Hi, welcome to Theology 1. And this is a video in which I want to tell you about the syllabus so that you can be thinking about the syllabus, come to class with questions, but we don't have to spend class time going through expectations and all. We can already start those things cranking. As you can see, I'm in this beautiful, actual, authentic location here with this scenic view of the campus from the reference room. There seems to be some sort of fuzzy creature down here to my left. I don't know exactly what that is, but hi. Glad you're here too. Interesting. So let's talk about the syllabus. This is God and Creation, the first of a two-semester a set of courses. God and Creation will take us really the whole big arc of theology. What is God? Who is God? What is creation? All the way through to eschatology, or what I hear in the course description called consummation. Your second course in the spring will be the sort of story within the story. It'll be the interior arc, as I like to think of it, of sin and redemption. The big story is who is God and what is the world. And the story within that is the story about God's incursion into a world that is damaged by sin and death. That coming in the spring then. In this course, as you'll see, we will we'll be defining the discipline of constructive theology. I use that term synonymously with systematic theology. Like constructive just emphasizes that we are doing some building. Systematic emphasizes that aspect of it that notes that the key is that all of the pieces fit together. I'll have more to say about that in the next couple of weeks. Defining the discipline gives students the tools to articulate and connect the doctrines using a broad range of texts and ideas from across the historical and geographical range. So that's what we're going to be up to. You can see the learning objectives, what I'm hoping we'll be accomplishing as we go. Just giving you the opportunity to articulate and explain key ideas. Also to connect lived experience. That's a lived experience as a source of theological questions, and that'll be something that comes up in this first assignment that I'll tell you about in just a minute. Construct responses to complex questions. Doing a lot of constructing, challenging one another, articulating those challenges and those ideas. Fine-tuning our responses, and then just having hard conversations about theology in community. That's one of the key things that I want us to practice, and that I want you all to become good at as we progress. You can see the required text there. One of them is mine, and then one of them is a collection from around the global church. And let's take a look at how you get graded in this course. One is that you show up and you participate. Please do. Next important assignment are what I'm calling salient features presentations. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to every week, almost every week, a couple of places in the syllabus is different, but basically every week, we're going to have 4 of you who are going to stand up and give an oral presentation in class. And these are going to be short, 5 minutes. And what I'm asking you to do is note the highlights, the salient features. You can sort of picture like if you've got a bay with some rock formations sticking up. Those rock formations are the salient features. Your eye goes towards them. As you read these texts, as you watch these videos, what does your eye go towards? What are you conscious of noticing as you engage with this material? Begin and I'll choose these the day of. So we'll walk into class, you won't know who's going to talk. And I will say, let's do this. Let's have you start and you respond. The person who starts will have 5 minutes to say, here are the salient features. The person who responds will have 5 minutes to add to, push back on, challenge, extend some of what you hear from person 1. We'll do that. That'll launch our conversation for the first half of class. And then we'll begin the second half of class by redoing that, doing it over again with the next set of readings. And if you look over here on, say, September 4th, you'll see that I have a capital A next to Watch Lecture Video, and a capital A next to Baker, preface, and introduction. That means the first half of class is going to begin with that 5-minute presentation on the salient features of both of those. Second half of class begins with 5 minutes on the salient features of the Maggie Dawn essay and the Kelly Brown Douglas essay. So those will guide, the A and the B will guide half 1 and half 2 of class. Let's see, theological inventory. Early on, first week, I want to hear about the theological world that you've been formed in, the community that you come from, the questions that have emerged through that community, basically what you're bringing into the class with you. And that's going to help me because that knowing what traditions, what wealth, what ideas, what key thoughts, concepts you're bringing into the class with you, questions you're bringing into the class with you, that's going to help me know how to shape the conversation that we have. It's going to help me notice what's happening when we have very different ideas and concerns. I want us to stay conscious of the fact that we're coming in here and we are attempting to create a coherent language of theology, and we're doing that with some really rich ideas that you all have already brought in. Day 1, we're going to start by getting some of those out into the air, so I'm looking forward to that. But that assignment is just pretty self-explanatory. I've given you the questions, and I say give me 2 or 3 pages where you just tell me about these things. Then early on, coming up the next week, we have this theological vocabulary exam. This is short answers, 1-sentence answers to theological vocabulary. So words we're going to be working with through the next 2 semesters. And I want to sort of knock this out of the way early so that when I say soteriology, I don't get blank looks like this. You just know it. Some of those words we're not going to use a ton, or we'll use later. And I've tried to note some of the ones that I just think this is sort of nice theological trivia to know. But mostly it's stuff that we'll be working with over the course of the next couple of semesters. You'll see a study guide on Populi that gives you all those words, and then not all of them, but a lot of them will be on that test. Test or exam. I guess I call it 2 different things here, but you get the idea. It's the same thing. Worth the same amount. 10% of your grade. Then I have these benchmarks. The benchmarks are due various times throughout the semester. Notice August the 28th. There it says Roman numeral 1. What is theology? This is the first unit. Is the what is theology unit. By September 11th, we've come to the end of that, and so I give you an assignment which is a benchmark. In which you'll write a essay of 200 words, roughly. If you're under, don't go under by much, and if you go over, don't go over by much. The benchmark question is it fitting that theology relies on testimony? And I just want to hear you process that some, and I've given you some instructions there, and there's a rubric on Populi for how we'll be grading those. So these come throughout the semester as we come to the end of these units. I want to hear you put into your own words how you're synthesizing the ideas, the material, the conversation from class. What else do you need to know here? The rhythm is, especially at the beginning, as we're moving through these units pretty quickly, you're going to have a reading from a chapter of my book, a video of me explaining, and then another reading from the tradition. And when I say tradition, I just mean that sort of broad range from ancient to contemporary, from somewhere around the globe, of someone working with that idea. And I think that's really the main. That's the overview here, and that will take us all the way up to. You'll see. You'll notice October 2nd, we don't have salient features presentations. That's because I just want to teach you how to read Thomas Aquinas. That'll be enough for that day. We'll just work on that for that day. Take us all the way up to the end when we have a final exam. That final exam will be an essay exam, and you'll just answer a question using the tools that you've got, using some of the resources, using some of the readings from the semester. And that is it. That is what you'll be doing in this class. You can look through the rest of the materials here. You can make sure that you're on board with the AI policy. Check and see how I'm doing attendance. If that becomes an issue, you'll see there what my expectations are. And I think that takes us all the way through. So really looking forward to this. Any questions that you've got about the syllabus, bring them to class with you, and we'll talk about them. And can't wait to do some theology with y'all.